Peace, everybody. Welcome to Roll Tide Pods, man. This is Disrupt the Media. We got a lot to talk about today, and we got to do it in a shorter span of time because, Jake's got some media obligations to take care of.
We got an hour.
We got an hour. We'll let him tell you about those. But really, the big story in this state was the International Mullet Toss, the 40th anniversary. And you know what? I got to tell you, man, you threw a bomb. I got the footage of it.
Oh yeah, you
got it all. That. We're gonna talk about it. But first, I want to remind you guys of two things. First off, we appreciate you guys being here on Disrupt the Media. Comments, get in the comment section. Maybe at home, if you're over 21, crack a beer and join us in talking about what happened down in Perdido Key this weekend. And also, we really appreciate you guys hanging out with us and talking Alabama sports. We'll talk Alabama as well. Basketball's on fire right now. They're building a roster that we've never seen built before. All those guys that hauled ass, you're going to regret it. I'm just telling you that right now.
Oh, yeah.
But we're brought to you by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Go on there right now. Use the promo code NEXTROUND. And when you do so, when you use that promo code, good things happen. And the good thing that happens for you is that there's a 50% price match up to $1,000. So to do that. And we're also presented by Roback, roback.com. Use the promo code BOOK20 to get 20% off. And Jake, you are you're on fire for these guys.
I made my move on the Roback stuff with Jalen too, by the way. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I didn't talk to him for 3 minutes before I asked for a Roback deal.
Right off the bat, send me some stuff, you said.
Oh, man.
And you already have a deal.
I know. I just
you can't get enough of these.
Yeah, I know.
The stuff's great though, man.
The only reason I'm not wearing one today is because I didn't have enough time to wash the ones I've worn last week.
Yeah, they're so soft too, man.
Oh, I know.
And that like Henley one I got
fits so well.
Yeah, it looks great. I haven't worn the Alabama hoodie. I'm saving that for when Mark Sears officially says he's coming back, because I think he's coming back. He's coming back. Hearing some things. I'm hearing some things.
You think about the NIL money he'd make if he came back.
He's going to make it. You go ahead and start getting your Roback deals ready. Start getting your whatever.
Oh,
he's coming back, man. He is too smart to go play in the G League when he can probably he's going to make a ton of money.
He's all of a sudden become the most iconic basketball player that's played at Alabama, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. And he's the face I think he's the face of the athletics department right now.
Yeah. And I think he went
crazy.
He went to Miami, Ohio 3 years ago?
I know. Yeah.
Alabama didn't offer him. Auburn didn't offer him. And then, now he's, again, the face of Alabama athletics almost.
Yeah.
Him and Jalen are right there fighting for it.
Yeah. And we hung out with Jalen this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So let's get into all that. First off, your first ever mullet toss. Let me go ahead and give our folks, like, if you've never been to the mullet toss before, this is the mullet toss.
Oh, I hadn't seen the drone footage.
Yeah.
All I saw was Ryan's story.
Yeah. Like, so this is the mullet toss. It's at the Flora-Bama. Great partner. I was actually doing the broadcast of the mullet toss from there. Love the place. It's been, for youth, I think it's the same way. It's been my favorite place for probably since I was 18, man. I love it.
Oh, yeah. Well, it just embodies everything about kind of the redneck Riviera, I mean, that's what Kenny Chesney calls it.
Yeah. Well, all right, here's the opening of it. Like they gave me these clips, so let's.
God bless you.
My buddy John.
Hope you have a fun, safe day. How about a round of applause for our special guests, Coach DeBoer, Coach Oak. Thank them for coming down and just let them say a word or two. And they got some stuff to go do today. So
we got stuff to do, but it looks like you guys are having a great time. That's for sure. So we appreciate
give me that.
Chance to be here, be with all of you, and hope you're enjoying a beautiful day, great weekend, and we had to bring two of our stars with us. These guys are amazing, and Malachi and Jalen. So we're excited about the season coming up. Know we got a lot of support from all of you down here, and looking forward to this fall. So roll Tide.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate
appreciate you guys coming out. We've felt the support since we've been here. In our Final Four run, we had the support from all over, so I love coming to the beach. Appreciate you guys coming out. And to try to get back there again. Both our programs be trying to play for a national championship next year. So for all you Roll Tide fans, Roll Tide. The rest of you need to just leave. So Roll Tide.
Hey guys, do me a favor and pray for these guys and their families and all their prayers and their programs. These are good men, godly men, and they're great leaders, and we're blessed to have them. So love you guys. Thank y'all so much.
All right, so John, John's my fraternity brother. Yeah, you know this. I told you this, and he has been fantastic guy since the day I met him. And I mean, what a great introduction right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And
he's a smooth talker now. He's got it down.
Yeah, he does, man. They got out there, he's just he's a reverend guy. And he's always been a fantastic friend. So it's cool that when he helped buy the Flora-Bama, kind of came in, a couple guys had it, and then they formed a 4-man team. With Pat now, he was one of the guys that had been there before. And then Cam and him. And then they lost. I think Joe Gilchrist was the only that passed away last year, but 4 great guys. And it's just become this incredibly, it was always iconic.
A landmark.
Yeah. But now it's amazing, dude.
Oh yeah. Well, they took it to a place that it should have been.
Yeah.
Could have been. Where it could have been.
Right. So they started this thing 40 years ago. And for those of you guys that aren't from here, you basically, that course is you throw a fish. It's about 200 feet, right?
Yeah.
And you throw it, and then they keep score, and then they do this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so, I'm not going to brag, but I came in 3rd for my age division in 2001. So I mean, once you kind of, once you medal in there, it's a big game field, Jake.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and then you come in, and there we go. I didn't know what you were going to bring to the table. Okay. I mean, I've heard the rumblings of this good arm, and you're guy that's been able to, kind of throw some balls in the past, but throwing a fish is different, man.
Yeah. And I wish I knew how far I threw it. The Flora-Bama called me and said that they'd let me know when the fish landed.
You want to see here? You want to play me interviewing you? Here, let's play it. Let's see what
oh God, I hate hearing myself speak.
No, come on. Let's watch.
Come here. Are you what's your strategy for this moment?
Pre-game.
I don't know, but Peter's not going to be happy with what I do to this.
Are you going to throw it to the other?
See, I can't really hear it, but I know what I said.
That
People better duck.
They better duck?
That's coming.
That's what I'm saying. 418, that was fine. You got to beat them, but you got to win. You got to Gale Force win.
We got to play Ryan just to play it.
I got to hear it.
Put your head somewhere. It does work.
Is this your first mullet toss?
Yeah, first time. So I've grabbed a few fish in my day, never thrown one as far as I can. So we'll see how it goes.
What's the vibe?
Been good. Running into a lot. Ryan Anderson's here.
Ryan's my favorite.
Sounds about like your football pick.
I'm just kidding. I'm taking it.
All right.
Yeah, get in here. Ryan Anderson, what's your strategy for this mullet toss? I think we got to. What we got to do?
Grab it, and I'm gonna throw a flop.
Yeah. Jake's trying to hit the blue chair tent back there.
I'm playing on it. I'm playing on it, man.
How many mullet tosses?
My first one. I've never been in one. So this is the first one, man.
Told you it'd be worth the wait. Flora-Bama, please welcome to the court, Jalen Milroe, our starting quarterback of the University of Alabama.
He's such a good dude, man. I mean, he's always been that way.
He's the best, always. He's never changed.
Great guy, man.
I mean, what you see is what you get, and if he loves you, he loves you. I mean, just a loyal guy. You hearing that echo?
Yeah. You got it now that you got headphones at work. Hit that sound down, that little sound bar down a little bit. Yeah, he's awesome, man. I had such a great time. And then I guess I got to play your throw, right? I mean, I guess you want to see this.
I tell you, I had so much fun out there. That was my first time, and it's probably mainly the group that was out there. I mean, you had some other buddies out there. Ryan was out there.
Yeah, Holt Clark. He was like, everybody that was out there got a shout out from Mick, but me. So Holt and his mother-in-law. See, Holt was supposed to go back to Tuscaloosa. So he brings his mother-in-law with him so that he can't get in trouble. I mean, how are you going to get in trouble with your mother-in-law standing there?
Yeah, that's right.
That place will suck you in for a good time.
Yeah. I mean,
so here, let's play.
You stay out the mullet toss all day, you're in trouble.
It was awesome.
I'm a national championship team, Mr. J.
All right, first off, that introduction, man. They hand me the microphone.
If it hadn't been for that introduction, I'd have thrown it 110 feet.
I got you fired up, didn't I? You and Ryan both.
All
right, here we go. You could hear the tail end of, and the guy Doc that does the introductions is probably like, "What the? I'm the introduction guy." They're like, "No."
Well, I'd been asking about you being there to Paul Register so much. He was like, Mick. Yeah, he knew.
Well, it's like when Derek Jeter played. It was only Bob Shepard that introduced him.
Now batting for the Yankees.
Might as well just walk
Jeter.
Well, he died, but they had him on a clip, and he made him play it all the time. So you got to have sometimes you got to have your own PA guy.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, here we go. This is
Coker.
This is impressive. I was proud of you.
That's what I saw Paul standing over there. I was like, all right, which one of these fish is flying the furthest?
Did the sand that you were rubbing in your hands help?
That's what I said earlier. Somebody was asking about that. I was like,
look.
That's a
Did you see
great
that?
No, I didn't.
The longest toss of the day right there. Yeah.
Dude, let me just replay that part. Watch your body. I mean, like, look at this. Like, I got to give you credit, man. Like, the form right here, textbook.
Little crow hop.
That's a great
Crow
toss.
hop. Like, your back was straight. Your back, like that's how you teach it right there. You ought to do like the week before mullet toss, like mullet toss classes. Look at that throw. 141, almost like a 142, like 141.7 or something.
Yeah. Again, the air. I've always had trouble with that, putting enough air on it. Should have gotten it higher.
Felt like you were trying to get it to Ardarius Stewart for 6. Great pass. That was bomb. That's one of the furthest. I think I saw 2 throws the whole time I was there that were further than that. Like, so one guy threw like 180, and he
Good Lord.
Yeah, he like got a running start. He didn't even get that much air on it, but like he was in the back of the circle, ran to the front, and whoosh, and it took off for him.
Yeah, I felt like I was before I got in there, I started rubbing sand on my hand, and just because that's what I'd heard to do, and
that's illegal. By the way.
I felt like I was one of those one of the pitchers getting checked by an ump, and the lady checking me was like, she was like, "All right, let me see your hand," and I was like, "I'm left-handed."
Here's the post game. Here's post. I think this is the post game interview.
Jay, come here. Are you? What's your strategy?
All right, that's the one from before. So I gotta move that way.
I want to see Ryan throw it.
I don't know if I'll see if I can pull it up.
That's good. You'd be doing him a favor.
He actually. Well, look. You want to know how it went? I think I posted on Twitter. You got 146 or 141. I got 126. Ryan got like 119.
Really?
Yeah, and then
God, think if he'd have thrown it straight.
Malachi and Jalen was like the lowest.
Jalen, I could tell Jalen didn't want to get those shoes dirty.
They might have. They're
he
probably the
came-
kind that you don't want to get dirty.
He rolled out there looking like Deion Sanders. and-
Yeah, he looked great. He wasn't expecting that.
All right,
Oh, here we
that
go, here
was
we
quite impressive. And I'm going to tell you right now, my strategy was for you to go short and make me to come in, but I'm not going to follow that.
I was going to come in and just beat you real quick.
I saw your video. As long as I beat Coker.
Yeah, and I came up empty.
Give me a lift.
If I could have got a little more air,
How far did it go?
I would have. I could have gotten close.
Yeah.
That's the toss. Are you going to come back for the championship round?
Yeah.
You'll be back.
Gotta keep it going.
Yeah, right. You know what? The most impressive thing is that it's been a few years. I'm not going to say you're long in the tooth, but it's been a few years since
Good toss. Look at that fish.
I was
Sandy.
about to say, Jalen's got to learn a few things. Got to clean him up a little bit. I think he was a little nervous about getting his shoes dirty, but you got to get over that.
Congratulations on the punch. Ladies and gentlemen, Jake Coke.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Sandy, you ready?
Look at Rhino. Let's get him in there.
You mean no, you
What was it like getting out on the circuit?
Oh, Mitch, it felt great to be back out there competing,
That's
man.
in. Go
They
touch
couldn't handle me. They were much, but you know, it was all right.
Columbia, Maryland.
It was all right.
You like it? You get those butterflies.
Yeah. Definitely. The crowd going crazy. 70-some thousand out here, you know.
You had a good throw.
Surprisingly, Nick, you know what I mean? I was aiming to go left. The wind took me a little bit to the right, but, you know, we'll take it.
How about that intro? Intro you got.
Oh, they brought me out like Steve Harvey on the King of Comedy. That was nice.
Lori, you ready?
Yeah.
Who's the greatest comedian of all time? Is Dave Chappelle that guy?
Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac. Okay.
Bernie Mac.
He is right about that.
Great.
Bernie Mac's awesome. He was the best one of the Kings of Comedy.
It's great to see you out here, and let's get
Like, hey, definitely, and then we definitely catch back up on our pod.
Yeah. Roll
Nancy.
Tide Pods.
Roll Tide, yes.
Dax.
Shout out. Yeah. I said, hey, we need to do a 22 builds show,
Yeah.
like HGTV style.
Oh, yeah.
I think like
Roll through the houses. Check them out.
yeah. Well, you know, when you get your first, like when you're in the market to buy a house or you buy your first house afterwards, like you're really interested in houses.
Oh, yeah.
Like it would have never been something that I would have been that interested in until I bought that first house. And then I'm like, okay, this is my second one here, but I'm interested. Like I'll go over and I'll hear about it.
I'm far less interested now. My wife wants to move all the time. I see Zillow pop up on her phone, and I'm ready to toss that thing out the
But
door.
it's time for you guys to move to the Eastern Shore. We've talked about this. Come on. It's a lot. It's a quicker ride to a lot of places, just because you don't have to navigate the bridge.
Oh, the bridge is a nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's the biggest thing. And the other thing is that you would be so close to the studio. You get your own key.
Yeah, that's right.
Make sure we keep you hooked up with lots of cold beverages in here. All right, so
It would be nice to just walk over here.
yeah, I would love that. Dude. I would love to
We'd get in too much trouble.
be
though.
those some hellacious football parties.
Oh, it would be. Our wives would probably leave us.
They might like it though. They might be like, hey.
Yeah.
All right, here,
No, but man, that was that again. First mullet toss ever, and I'm looking forward to going back.
do you want to see? I got Malachi Moore throwing, and I talked to him afterwards, and then I interviewed Nate Oates.
Nate Oates, I wish that I'd had more time to just thank him for how hard he's working.
You
and what
love
he's
this
done.
basketball team.
I
man.
do.
How many centers?
I love
can
him. I
Yeah,
love him.
I do too.
He's just
All right, let's play it. He's awesome, dude.
oh, he is. He's great.
And let me set this up too. So when you talk to someone that has been to a lot of these big sporting events, right? And then they finally get to the crescendo,
Oh yeah.
the top sporting event in international sporting events, the
Yeah.
mullet toss. You realize that there's a lot of nerves in this and that people are kind of like in awe of the whole situation.
I mean, after that, we could have just. I mean, he could have just sailed off into the sunset. We could have gave him the old Chris Smelly treatment.
Right. We could have gone and gotten them with we could have got the Coast Guard. Here he is. There he is.
Hey, Coach Nate Oates, I know that you've had a lot of big sporting events, but this has to be the biggest of the year.
If you say.
Yeah.
Maybe most sun at this one for sure.
Is this your first mullet toss?
I've never been here before. I didn't even know this thing existed. When they told me a mullet toss, I thought I was tossing some hair.
So what's your strategy after you see Jay Coker throw a bomb of a fish like that? You're going to beat him.
All right, you ready to get back on?
Listen,
You like the three.
I hear you say roll, Ty.
earlier in the week, so I'm out on this year. So the next time I
Whoever in line said War Eagles, get the end line.
like Coker threw that thing way past that.
Daniel
I
from
think Milroe
Fairway,
took it easy on it.
Alabama.
I'd like to see Milroe give it
Step up
another
to the
shot.
circle, grab
Hey, roll
yourself.
time.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, that was we ran at their plane was late because of the wind.
Yeah.
So DeBoer was going to be next on the show, and then they had to get out of there. But I
Yeah.
grabbed Nate. I turned around. I'm like, oh, Nate was like right there. You know?
Oh yeah.
What a great interview, though.
Oh yeah. He's.
Awesome
I mean,
guy.
you see why he's got this quiet confidence about him, and I talked to him for a little bit, but he was like, I wish I'd had more time. You know, they're in and out so
Yeah.
quick. You can't really talk about much, but he's like, so what high school did you go to in Mobile? I was like, St. Paul's. And I just went ahead and cut him off. It's just like, hey, you're not going to find too many recruits at St. Paul's. Coach DeBoer will be around, but
yeah, right.
here and there, but
Yeah, right. It's not a basketball.
no,
school,
or
huh?
football. Football's one for sure. But I mean, I played basketball throughout my high school career, and I loved it. And but we just, for some reason, just hadn't been too good. I mean, been good, just
In
not
high
great.
school.
Yeah.
Well, what's cool is just kind of going into basketball is that Alabama right now is netting some of the. I mean, it's been amazing.
He, you know, I wonder if he parlayed that trip down Saturday with is it LeBaron Fallon out of Baker?
Yeah, yeah,
He committed Saturday,
He
I
got it.
believe.
yeah,
And he was committed to Kansas, wasn't he?
yeah. He was.
You hearing me all right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what a push. It's like watching Coach Saban his first couple of years at Alabama.
Well, when you were seeing all these guys transfer, you're going, okay, you know, we're done, right?
Yeah.
And it just is not what happened. I mean,
Well,
we got two centers right now fighting for the spot to be the center on the team. The guy from Rutgers and the guy from Kentucky, right?
Oh, yeah.
You go out and you replace these guys that transferred out, which I love the fact that we went and got a guy from Kansas because I'm hearing that Kansas is paying big money for Griffin. And it's like, hey, you know
I made
what?
that point last week. I was like, how are we going to compete with Kansas as far as NIL goes? And here we go. I mean,
I heard a dollar number that he wanted. And I don't know how, you know, this is just what a source told me, that he wanted Alabama to pay him $1.2 million. Did you hear that number? I heard that
I've
number
heard
too.
something close.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't blame him either. I mean, if you want to compete, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, right.
You know,
and then and that's
and we've talked about this. I mentioned this out there at the Mullet Toss with somebody where, you know, there's got to be, people need to understand, and you know, if you want to be good, it's going to take money now. Like,
Yeah, right.
you can agree, disagree with the ethics of it or whatever you want to call it, but at the end of the day, if you're not paying these guys, then we're not going to have a lot of quality players. You know, I mean, it just,
yep.
Yeah, Alabama, they gotta build up that dollar amount. We got to be able to fund the pay of these players. And like I said, I'm all for NIL. I think there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. I don't think it's being done the right way now. But you know, these guys that create value for themselves and the organization, I think they have every right to make money. And I think they should be able to take advantage of that.
Right.
Jalen Milroe, classic example. You know, Ty Simpson, one guy I meant to mention a few weeks ago, from what I've heard about what he's told Coach DeBoer and his decision to stay. I mean, I think that is one hell of a testament to his character, that he's sticking around and wants to see, you know, Alabama succeed and keep going.
Who's that, Milroe?
No. Ty Simpson.
Oh, Ty Simpson. Yeah.
I mean, even though he's not a starter, I mean,
not this year,
you know, and
could happen fast though. He's starting to develop that. He's starting to look like
he's
a
good
guy
player.
that's going to be a starting quarterback.
Yeah, he's a
it's
good
coming
player.
together for him.
You know, that's the thing. I mean, at Alabama, if you're going to go there, you're going to have good players that don't play. You know, that's any big time school, and of course that's why you see guys transfer so much. But I mean, there's a lot of good players out there you never hear about just because of the timing wasn't right.
Yeah.
and I think Ty's one of those guys. And if he sticks around, I hope he gets a year or two to start and showcase to everybody how good he is.
Yeah,
I think he's a great player.
And
I don't know Ty well. I've met him a few times. He's been very, very nice and respectful. And but to me, making a career decision like that says a lot about him.
What if you met? Have you ever seen Rocky III?
Yeah.
Okay, and there was a guy named Clubber Lang. You remember him? What if you met one of these young guys and they talked to you like Clubber Lang talked to Apollo Creed? Remember that? Remember that he was talking to him in the ring? If he wasn't respectful, what you doing in here, old man? You washed up. I mean, has anybody ever been disrespectful? I feel like all these guys are super nice, man.
Oh,
what you doing here? he kept talking to Rocky like that. He told Adrian, he was like, "You want a real man?" That's of the Rockies.
Yeah, somebody said that to my wife. I mean, I may get my ass whipped, but
you get in the ring.
You can't let that go.
But you get in the ring. So, well, Rocky took care of Creed, but I mean, if Apollo Creed and then what was it? Clubber Lang. Yeah, he took care of Lang. Got him confused there. But I love Rocky III. He's the best of the Rockies.
Yeah. I can't keep the numbers together. I don't know my favorite.
You're gonna tell me 4, right?
When he fought what's his name? Big Russian guy.
Yeah, Rocky IV.
Okay.
I knew it.
Yeah. That's a hard one to beat.
Well, they're all good, man. I mean, even the first one was like a real movie, and then the rest of them were like, adventure movies, but they're fantastic.
Yeah. I mean,
more character development in the first one.
Yeah, the old movies. You got to miss the messages in the old movies. We won't go down that road. But.
No, dude, how good was well, they were just great movies. The guy who played Apollo Creed just died in real life, and I thought he was a great actor.
Oh yeah,
love that guy. There were some big birthdays that I was going to bring up today. I mean, I'll get to those before you get out of here, but just kind of the tying the bow on this. Jalen Milroe, we met Jalen Milroe. Of course, you asked him for the Roback stuff. My favorite thing was Ryan's like, "Hey, Mick's been Mick's been on your side." I felt like saying, "Look,
that was the first thing I said."
Yeah,
I was like, "Hey, man, I've had your back since
you
day one.
You were first.
Go watch the podcast."
Yeah, but I never didn't like him. I just said I just didn't know. And then after,
we were saying that after Texas,
2 games, and then
we said that after the Texas game that had faith in him. It was just two balls that the 2 interceptions looked bad, but I could see why he threw them.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Then, but I mean, I was never. You were on board from the beginning. I was just kind of like, hey, you got to be objective a little bit. But it didn't take us long to realize.
Oh yeah. Well, when you watch the game live, you can't see what's going on. TV copies. I mean, unless you watch, reverse it, play it back over and over again, you can't tell what's going on. And so I'm watching the game at first, and I'm like, oh man, here we go. What are we doing? And then you watch it over again, and it's like, I mean, I could see myself doing the same thing, making the same mistakes. And I wouldn't even call some of them mistakes because, you're taught to throw it where he did throw it based on a certain look. And sometimes defenses just make good plays. It just happens.
Well, he also didn't have Ryan Kelly snapping him the football. He had to deal with that the whole season.
I mean, I felt like even that game, there was low snaps nonstop.
Oh, I know. Look, I was on that from the beginning. Yeah. I don't know enough about football to know, like, technically the excuses that a center could make for shitty snaps.
Yeah.
So they just look like bad snaps to me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I can tell you one thing. I would hate to have to look between my legs, snap it, and then look up, and you got a 300-pound, just giant in your face.
Yeah, right. So you just snap the ball over the guy's head and run.
You're on your own.
Yeah. Yeah. Buckle up, buddy.
Hope this works. They said you're an athlete.
He's like an action figure. He's a cool dude, though. He was just really awesome, nice guy. You get that genuine feel around him. And I had heard before we even got together I had a great tipster that was like, man, this guy shows up early. I mean, like he wants to be the guy to replace Bryce Young, and he's putting the work in on that, So I knew that right away. I knew the guys respected him, but then you meet him in person, and he's got electric.
Yeah, you meet him in person, and you can tell it's
a great dude.
Yeah, and I tell you, well, like we talked about last week. I mean, it's so good for these guys to get out and do stuff like that. Market themselves, see a lot of people, figure out how to manage all that at a young age. I mean, when I was playing, I basically just locked myself away, and I hung out with my teammates, but I wasn't doing much. I mean, hit Innisfree after a game, but outside of that, you weren't seeing me do anything out in the public eye.
Yeah.
And, I think it's so good for them to go out there and be able to be compensated for that. You're a huge marketing tool for Alabama. You get some of the benefits of going on those parades or tours or whatever they're calling it now.
Well, it's what it is now. I mean, they were in town not for the mullet toss. They just swung over and did that. They were in town because they had basically like a fundraiser that they were doing, right, to raise money for the university.
Yeah, at Perdido Key Resort. Yeah, I think they're calling it some kind of tour.
It's a tour, but people. That's what campaigns do. That's what politicians do, and that's what we're going to have to do to maintain this athletic department. Because basically the model is
money from somewhere else.
Well, the money should come from the people that show up to go to the games and pay for a ticket.
Yeah,
so some of these other sports probably are going to pay the price. I heard that there was a university that was maybe Texas A&M that was getting rid of some administrators because they needed the money for NIL or something. That's what somebody told me. I don't know the whole story, but at the end of the day, like the model never made sense to me. And I've talked about this on here. How could I go in and buy a Jake Coker jersey from the team store, in 2015, and Jake Coker not get any of the money of that? When it's basically it's his name, image, and likeness. We're buying it not because we want to wear, your jersey. We want to wear, what is it, number 14? It's not that. It's that we want to wear your number 14. We don't want to wear a number 14.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that that's what this should all be about. Right. And instead, it's turned into this other thing, but the money is there to pay these guys because, well, at least at Alabama, because people are paying a ton of money for tickets.
Oh yeah. I don't know if I'm sure Jalen got some kind of money out of going on this tour.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, that was meant for Alabama. That was for raising money for the collective. Jalen and Malachi Moore, they did this to get more money in that collective to be paid out to the entirety of the athletic program, the athletic department. So, those guys are they're running around nonstop. I guess Talladega was they probably had some other kind of NIL deal going on there as well, if I had to guess. But they're using those guys to get around and pay the athletic department as a whole in terms of NIL. So,
well, that's where we are right now.
Oh yeah.
And that's
Jalen. You think about the responsibility that Jalen has. And I'm sure Mark Sears I'm surprised Mark Sears wasn't. We don't know if he's coming back.
We don't know yet.
Yeah.
As soon as he comes back, I would say you're going to see him everywhere.
But Jalen, Malachi, these big name guys, they're bearing the responsibility of helping raise money for this entire athletic department. So you think about their value in terms of keeping us competitive through paying players. It's just a number you can't put a dollar amount on. I'm sure you can, but in terms of the continuity of our athletic programs, they're helping out a tremendous amount.
Right. Yeah. Really proud of those guys for doing it because it's what it takes right now.
Oh yeah. Well, not only that, but to represent themselves and the school in the way that they did, come out there, talk to people, be very personable and caring to the fans that, come up, want autographs, want to talk to them. you know, it only takes one fan to come up to a guy that they're paying a lot of money to see and treat them poorly, and that, you know, ends their contributions from then on out.
Yeah, that's true.
So you have to, you know, you better treat everybody with a lot of respect and appreciation, because they're paying your salary.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. And I mean, I think about that every time I do anything in sports.
Yeah.
Is that it's about the people that are paying for the tickets.
Oh yeah.
And you know, the other thing too is, I mean, I've spent my life around sports. I don't know how you could forget the fans, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, or whatever, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's cool that we get to talk about sports, or somebody gets to actually play sports to make money.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's still, you know, it's not like we're like splitting atoms over here. You know what I mean? It's not like we've cured cancer. I mean, you know, it's like we can throw a football, or we could talk about somebody throwing a football. You know, it's like the appreciation.
Just having fun in a man cave, drinking a beer.
Yeah, right. Talking about how far we threw fish. I got mine up here. I'm gonna show you guys mine next. But I loved it, man. I had such a good time. I liked him. Malachi Moore, great dude. He almost hit the drone with his throw.
Did he really?
Yeah. I can play that one too. Probably did see that one.
It crossed my mind to, you know, rear back, spin around, and just drill Ryan in the chest.
Alabama native Malachi Moore. Preseason all-conference safety.
Here's Malachi. Just look at him up there. Really liked him. I'm glad he came back.
He had some good form.
Yeah, he's the only guy that came back. Watch him almost hit the drum. Woo!
Whoa!
That was close.
Yeah.
What if would the drone have crashed, or would it just like bumped it?
I mean, that was coming in hot.
It's coming in pretty
I
hot.
think that'd have lost lost a couple propellers.
It would have taken it. It would have lost altitude on that.
Yeah. That's what I should have done. I should have aimed for over the drone.
Yeah, and then you would have hit it. And that would have been a bad conversation with Steve. Steve was already mad at me for drinking beers with you guys. It's like, I guess I was there to work, but after all the fun was gone, we had to relive the memories. Plus, you guys didn't even stay that long. So. Here's
this fall, so roll tide.
Talking about it. There you are.
Malachi Moore, what was it like throwing that mullet? It was cool. It was cool. And I won, so this is a big game atmosphere. Probably the biggest game you played. Yeah, it's cool. The fans never brought energy today. How many mullet tosses this week? My first ever. Had you ever heard of it? No.
He didn't even know about the mullet toss.
You know, I'm an underrated.
Said he's from North Alabama.
Hey guys, do me a favor and pray for these guys and their families and all their prayers and their programs. These are good men, godly men, and they're great leaders, and we're blessed to have them. So, love you guys. Thank you
These
so much.
headphones are out too.
Though I muted him because I was picking up feedback.
Yeah.
You just got to unmute him. Maybe you need to just hit that mute button on the top there, because I want you to hear all the excitement of my throw.
Oh yeah, I gotta hear this.
I was calling you out, but I knew I could get close. I knew when I threw it, I was like, I'm gonna be close, but I'm not getting you.
Why is it not working? Which one do I press?
The one that has the number 12, F12 at the top should be, if yours has the thing, it has like a speaker. There you go. And then you put those in, and then you put, I'll let you hear this.
Fairhope, Alabama.
Fairhope, baby. How about my mullet hat?
107, do you have it in you? Oh, look at me. He won't even look at me. He won't even look at me. He's so focused.
I'm not worried about you. I'm all about beating Coker.
Oh, you ain't gonna beat Coker, dude.
See, if I could have got some more air.
He got you. He got, yeah, look back, baby.
I killed Richie. On my throw. I was leaving
How
up there.
far it went.
But anyway, it was Richie I was throwing against Richie, my guy, you know.
Uh-huh.
And I let he waited all the way through the line.
Oh my God.
I know. And when he got up to the front, I told Steve, I said, as soon as he gets up, just throw me in right after him.
Is that you? Hey, if you see a guy named Richie, make sure he stands in the back of the line. No water.
I was like, he's a lot younger. He's a good athlete. But I was like, I knew it was the same strategy I was going to use until you threw that 140. And not only was your fish 142 feet pretty much, it just went so high. And you said you wanted it to go higher, man. That thing looked like, compared to mine was like a line. And I tried to throw it high.
Yeah, it wasn't like the I don't know if it makes any sense, but it wasn't like a ball. It wasn't like a fish that comes down and it landed like with still going forward with a lot of power. Needed to have a kind of a soft landing, get the most distance out of it. Kind of like football. I mean,
if I had thrown anything, I hadn't thrown in a while because my son Jake hadn't wanted to get outside and throw the football, so the arm was definitely not loose. All right, we'll put Ryan's up. I just got Ryan on here because you're going to see Ryan for Hey Coach.
Yep.
So what did they take the whole show down here? I mean, how's this working? I
guess so. I thought it was like Monday after the spring game, and like, hey, can you watch the spring game pretty heavily, or pretty intently? And I was like, yeah, I'll watch it. And so I watch it, and then I plan on going to Baumhauer's and Foley, the next Monday. And then I find out it's like 4 weeks later. I'm like, well, I've forgotten half the stuff I already watched.
Yeah. Talk about something. The best thing to do in something in a situation like that,
just talk about the mullet toss.
Yeah, just go talk about the mullet. It's something else.
Yeah, that's right.
People worry about like interviews and what they're going to say. The secret is, if you don't want to answer something, just talk about something else, or pick out a small detail about whatever it is that they're talking about, and just focus on that.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Have you ever had to do that?
I don't know
before?
If I said I was worried. I'm not worried.
Okay. All right. Well, was Ryan worried when he did this? Let's see.
Multi-national championship defender at Alabama, former Washington Redskin and commander, New York Giants, and Builds 22 founder, ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Anderson.
Oh, nice. Except it's 22 builds. I got it backwards, but I had exactly like 30 seconds to do this. I figured it out. Not a bad toss. He almost hit the drone too.
Yeah, and a spectator as well.
Yeah, well, look at this. He went like 119. Such a great sport too. Yeah, it was fun, man. That was fun.
Yeah, I got to make that trip more often.
Did Sunday? I threw on Sunday. I also had crawfish there on Sunday.
Oh, did you really?
Oh man,
but they were good.
Perfect,
down there.
Dude. Perfect.
Where are they from?
They're, I guess, Louisiana. I don't know, but the corn was great. The potato was great. So good.
I love some corn. I love the mushrooms in there.
They didn't have those in this one, but I like those too. Some people put hot dogs in there.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen some people.
I've never had hot dogs in
that's
there.
If you got like kids or something, you don't want them wasting your crawfish.
Yeah.
You guys like hot dogs, right? There was a drought, so you know this. Like they weren't.
Oh, they're like $15 a pound at one point.
Yeah, they were really expensive. So Alabama football did net a player. They got a guy in the secondary today, and should pull this guy's name up. Man, I gotta dig it up here. But anyway, like the spring transfer portal hasn't really been as hot as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I mean, I thought we'd be on fire in the spring transfer portal, but I mean, I think everybody that wanted to leave kind of got that out of their system, and then you guys feel good about the spring, or some teams don't have a spring game, so the players don't really realize where they sit. And I mean, I think you get all the guys out pretty much right after the season. At least that's what it looks like right now for the most part. Guys have already made up their mind, before the season ends. But yeah, I figured we'd get a few more. I figured we'd probably get one receiver, but yeah, I know we had a few ups and downs during the spring game in terms of catching the ball, but got a lot of young guys, and I think once they learn the system, they'll really put it together and figure it out. I mean, look, at the end of the day, you got a scholarship from Alabama, you can play.
Yeah.
I mean, there's guys that, when you watch them in practice and they don't have a chance of playing sometimes, you just think, you just never, there's a question mark by them. And then all of a sudden they get the responsibility of playing, and they get that feeling back of playing quick and in big moments. They turn into different people, play with more confidence. I mean, one of the most disappointing injuries I saw was Robert Foster got hurt when I was a senior, and he came out on fire that year. And you never really know guys that hadn't started yet, what they're going to do on the field. And I knew Robert he's one of the most athletic people I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Run routes, play. And he was really starting to pick up the offense my senior year. And then all of a sudden, man, when the lights came on, it was like, who is this guy? Just beating people, going up, making plays. He ended up getting hurt in the Ole Miss game. And really that's Calvin Ridley replaced him. And then, Calvin Ridley wrote his own story. But, Robert, geez, if he had a whole year to play, I'd have loved to seen what he could have done.
Yeah.
Because he was really, really starting to, mature and show that on the field. And, again, there's so many guys. I was talking to a guy yesterday where we were talking about, you never know about guys that make it to the NFL. Like some guys you think are shoe-ins don't make it. Some guys that you never thought had a chance are all of a sudden
stars
starting every Sunday. And so you really just, it's so much timing, the scenario you're in, the atmosphere you're playing in. Just if everything clicks at once, you never know how good anybody can be. So, again, spring ball, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in fall. That's where you figure everything out.
Yeah.
That's when you know who you got.
Yep. Cam Howard, Charlotte defensive back, commits to Alabama, does that this morning, 2 interceptions, 21 solo tackles for the 49ers. And this was a player that was recruited by some of the staff members before, they were at Alabama. So they know who he is.
The Charlotte 49ers, obviously.
Yeah, not the San Francisco 49ers. But I'd take a guy from the San Francisco.
Yeah, that's right.
It'd be fine with me.
Hell, why not nowadays? There's no rules anyway.
It's going to happen, right? Pretty crazy, man. So, yeah, what a great weekend, though. We'll keep an eye. I'm going to tell you right now, I think Mark Sears, I don't know when the deadline is, but I think he's coming back.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be, if he does it the right way, man, he's got the smile, he's got the looks, he's a good-looking dude. He's got a good personality, very photogenic. This guy could make a buttload of money.
Oh yeah.
He could be on everything.
Just think if he wins the first national championship in Alabama.
Well, that's what Nate Oates is talking about, man. He's talking about national championships. Now that they've been to the Final Four, and then he's amassing this unit. Like the funny thing is that what's going on in college basketball.
This is like an NBA dream team in comparison to other countries.
Yeah, right. This team should be better at defense. They're going to have like.
Well, if we have a more physical presence and shoot the ball like we do, I don't know how anybody can match up against us.
How about when you go from Kansas and Kentucky and come play basketball at Alabama, not because you stink, but because you want to?
Yeah. Yeah. Your coach leaves, you're one of the best players on your team. from one of the blue blood college basketball schools, and you come to Alabama. I mean, you get it in football, but now, I mean, basketball. God, I hope Nate Oates stays a long time.
Yeah, me too. Wonder if there's some guys on the team right now, like some spots, because it's going to be interesting, and it may be settled before.
Well, it starts to kind of make sense why people start leaving.
Well, sometimes, yeah, right.
I mean,
you get the, hey man, you're probably not going to play here.
Yeah. Well, I think Rylan Griffin went to Kansas, didn't he?
Yeah, he went to Kansas, or he's going there. But that to me is a money thing. I don't think that was I don't think they were going to replace him. But like Nick Pringle played good in the tournament, but he's a headache. You're dealing with him all the time. Like it just seems like not that he's a bad person, but he's obviously been in trouble a lot. If you're suspended from the team, to me, I mean, if you get suspended, the coach is pretty much telling you, I'm tired of your shit.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you're a bad guy. It just means that you're selfish.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, yeah, you got a lot to learn.
And I don't mean selfish in a way. Well, we don't know. Sometimes it's selfish in a way where you're not a good person, but sometimes it's just that you're not on time, that you're not taking seriously what they want you to take seriously.
A lack of accountability.
That's it.
And too emotional.
Yep.
Not taking coaching the right way, responding too emotionally to things you can't control or things that are said to you to make you better. And not realizing that, hey, I've got the whole coaching staff coming down on me, and I don't realize it's my fault.
Right. Ownership, accountability.
Yeah.
But sometimes, man, I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you. I mean, I would be lying if I told you that at 20 years old, I would have been any better. I've never liked that. I didn't never like people telling me what to do. So, so I mean, I guess I'm kind of, from up at this point, but I also didn't have that kind of talent either. It's like, hey man, listen to what we're doing. And the thing that would have always made me pay attention and do that is that I wouldn't have wanted to let the other guys down.
Yeah.
That's the thing to me about being on a team that I loved is the accountability that you have for the other people on the team.
Yeah. Oh, that's the best part.
Yeah.
That's the best part. I couldn't imagine playing an individual sport. I mean, I guess the only thing close to that would be, on a team sport would be a pitcher.
Right.
I mean, I did love to pitch, but you still had a team around you. But I mean, I just nothing better than pulling through when the team counted on you.
Oh yeah. Well, we've had a great show. It's really been fun.
Yeah, wish we had another mullet toss this weekend.
I know, man. Where you didn't have to go to a wedding.
Yeah. Oh man.
God, it was so fun though.
No,
they do it right there, man. It's like it's just and all the money they raised was for the Boys and Girls Club. And even I just don't remember ever having a bad time at the Flora-Bama.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm let me tell you, I stayed there all day. That'd have been a long day.
It would have gone by fast though.
No, it was we had a good time at that wedding, man. It was fun. It was my wife's cousin, or my cousin-in-law now, but the godmother of my first child. So we had a good time. It was great. Got to see a lot of people I hadn't seen in a while. But anyway,
that was fun. All right. Well, look, guys, that does it for us today. If we do a show on Wednesday here, Thursday there. So I'm not sure. We have to figure it out.
Wednesday here?
I can do it Wednesday here.
All right. Let's do it.
All right. MyBookie.ag, next round, use that promo code up to 50% price match on that initial wager. MyBookie.ag. You got the NBA playoffs. You've got, obviously Major League Baseball going right now. And then, sports from all over the country and in the world as well. So check that out. And then Rowback, we are becoming huge Rowback fans. Promo code BOOK20, 20% off your first order. BOOK20. I'm going to tell you right now, when I went and looked at the website, there are a lot of shirts that I would like to have off of there.
Oh, I went to that
I'm not even
website.
kidding.
There was Mick Gillispie written over a bunch of
Yeah.
shirts in there. A lot of patterns in there. I was like, I'll see those on podcast days.
The Chicago pattern with the Chicago city, the Chicago flag, the city flag. I was like, okay, I want that. You know, football and crabs. I mean, I need that one. So we've done crabs.
Is there a book 40? Is there a book 40?
Yeah. Let's say book 20. We got you want book free is what you want. Guys, like and subscribe. Make sure you're part of Roll Tide Pods. We got a bunch of cool stuff coming up here on the channel. We're building it and starting to roll into football season. It's not too far away. So Jake Coker, I'm Mick Gillispie. Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody, and Roll Tide.